Let me ask you something. In history, three countries collapsed in the exact same way, following the same stages. So, is America next? Throughout history, three great nations with powerful governments suddenly ceased to exist. France, Russia, Cuba. They all followed the same pattern. And now, in 2025, America is right in the middle of that pattern. What can we expect? Chaos? Revolution? Or are we still unaware of what's coming? Let me shed some light. In 1789, France was the most powerful country in Europe. Wealthy, cultured, at the peak economically and culturally. But in just 5 years, the government collapsed, the king was executed, and the country plunged into the dark reign of terror. In 1917, Russia was a massive empire. The Tsar ruled 180 million people. Fresh out of World War I, within 8 months the entire regime was gone, the Tsar executed, and the Bolsheviks seized power. In the Civil War and purges, 20 million people lost their lives. In 1959, Cuba was one of the strongest countries in the Caribbean. American tourists, casinos, a functioning economy. But in 2 years, Fidel Castro overthrew the government, nationalized everything, and turned the country into a communist dictatorship that lasted 60 years. 3 revolutions, 3 countries, 3 centuries. Each time the same pattern, each time the rulers were shocked. They thought they were untouchable. They never imagined the people would rise up. And each time they were wrong, and each time revolution inevitably came. So what is a revolution really? It is not a protest. It is not a rebellion. It is certainly not a simple political change. A revolution is the complete destruction of the existing order and its replacement with a new one, often worse. People do not revolt just because they are poor. Poverty has existed throughout history. Revolutions occur when expectations exceed reality, when people believe they deserve more than they have, and the gap between the elites and the public becomes unbelievably vast and unreachable. That's when revolution becomes inevitable. Most importantly, it happens when people stop believing that the system can fix itself. When the government, courts, and elections can no longer solve their problems, peaceful reform is impossible, and violent revolution becomes inevitable. Yes, as John F. Kennedy said, those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. History shows us this every time. France, Russia, Cuba. 3 different centuries, 3 different ideologies, but the same 6-stage process. The first stage, extreme wealth inequality. In France, there were 3 estates: clergy, nobility, and everyone else. Only 1.5% of the population was tax-exempt. The remaining 98.5% paid taxes. This injustice was not just economic, it was disconnected from reality. While the nobles lived in palaces, the peasants were starving. The second stage, government corruption and incompetence. King Louis XVI was buried under war debts but could not reform. He raised taxes, worsening poverty, while nobles and clergy avoided paying. The third stage, the radicalization of the middle class. Lawyers, merchants, educated people opposed the system. In 1789, they declared the National Assembly. The fourth stage, loss of trust in institutions. The monarchy, the church, the courts, all lost legitimacy. The fifth stage, revolutionary movements gained mass support. The Jacobins became popular, advocating the king's execution and wealth redistribution. The sixth stage, government falls, chaos begins. The king was executed, the reign of terror began, tens of thousands were executed. The same process happened in Russia in 1917. In 1959, Cuba was wealthy and modern, but the same stages were observed there as well. And now, in 2025, we see the same things in America. Stage 1. Wealth inequality. The richest 1% control 32% of America's wealth. The rest of society struggles to meet basic needs. Stage 2. Government corruption and incompetence. Trust in Congress is 15%. Trust in courts is collapsing. Trust in elections is lost. Stage 3. The middle class is radicalizing. Educated young people are in debt. cannot buy homes, and fear for the future. Stage 4, loss of trust in institutions. People distrust the media, police, and courts. The country is divided, waiting for a spark. Stage 5, revolutionary movements gain mass support. Not fully there yet, but far left and far right groups are gaining strength, believing the system has failed. Stage 6, chaos. It hasn't arrived yet, but history shows that once stage 4 is reached, reversal becomes extremely difficult. France, Russia, Cuba, all tell us the same thing. If you do not reduce wealth inequality, create fair governance, and restore trust in institutions, social explosion is inevitable. If America ignores these warnings in 2025, the same stages will unfold. We are currently at stage 3, and if things continue this way, stages 4, 5, and 6 will follow quickly. History is not just a story, it's a warning. Whether we learn our lesson will determine our future. If you watched this video to the end and it gave you a new perspective, then I am happy, because ignoring this will benefit none of us in the long run. Share it so others can see. History gives lessons so they are not repeated. Subscribe. The answers are hidden in history, and I will show you how to see them.